For her seduction, he decided to create a bed, unique for the occasion. He called to her, knowing she had to come. He took a human form, except for his eyes, for a demon's eyes are always filled with blood.
Welcome to Second Class Cinema, the show where we watch a B movie and immediately discuss it. I'm Tom. I'm here with Brittany and Eric.
Hello.
Hi.
What's up, guys?
This was a movie that we watched.
Well, let's fill everyone in.
I don't know how I am, to be honest.
Okay. We watched 1976 movie
1977.
Deathbed, the Bed That Eats. And that's what we watched tonight. And actually, leading up into this viewing, we had a litany of other movies that we can discuss in the First Class Failures segment, which will be hefty.
Terrible.
Just as a heads up, this is the best movie we've seen out of 7 movies.
Oh,
So
that's
much,
a good point.
So waist-high garbage.
We finished this one.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't finish any of the other ones.
No.
But we'll discuss that later.
Yeah.
So this was Brittany's pick.
Yep.
It was
Why did you pick this one?
Deathbed, the bed that eats. Why wouldn't I pick it? I forgot. I honestly don't even remember how I heard about it, but people were like, it's so ridiculous. It's like one of the best, worst movies. And then just today on Facebook, one of my friends posted that she was finally watching it. And then I was like, oh, yeah, we wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So we found it on YouTube and viewed it. And it's about things. So basically, this movie is about
I'll help you out if you need it.
a killer bed that's inhabited by a demon that feeds on people and occasionally on regular food.
Yes.
Yeah, that
You
sounds
nailed
good.
it.
There's really no way to coherently describe this movie without getting into great detail. So
Yeah,
I can
that's
try. I can
interesting.
try to go a little deeper if you want me to. I think I can.
Okay, I mean, maybe just a little bit, because there's a little bit more than just a bed, right?
Okay, so the origin of the bed is that a demon basically banged a human lady that he was in love with till she died. Is that what we're
Presumably,
getting?
yeah.
That's what
They had a
gathered.
tryst and then she died.
Yes.
Cause of death unknown, but we're pretty sure it's fucking.
Yeah.
She died. The demon's bloody red eyes shattered, and he
Yes.
cried tears of blood onto this magical bed he had created to woo and bed said woman. The bed came to life because of the blood and turned into like a demonic entity which eats things.
Yeah, no, you're still 100%.
on point, on
You still
point.
got
Everyone
this.
with me? All
I'm
right.
very
Following.
impressed. I'm not going to lie. Because I would not have been able to do that.
And then basically we just get flashes of this bed's history, like various people that it's eaten, children, old people, sick people, rich people,
Yeah.
religious orgies, like everyone.
And the byline of the movie is like a day's worth of activity. We see
Yes.
breakfast, lunch, dessert.
Yes,
Well,
basically.
we see dinner. They don't skip dinner.
I like dessert.
All right.
Yeah, so we see 2 separate groups of people go to this house, and one gets eaten, and they're just like a 10-minute subplot. And then the rest of the movie is about these 3 girls who go, and one of them has magical blood.
Wait, she did?
Wait, I missed that.
Wait, okay, now that's news to me. Now
Well,
that's
no, it just because every time she was around, like the guy trapped in the painting.
Yeah.
Sidebar.
Oh, yeah. that guy.
Wait, we
Yeah,
haven't
okay.
explained that yet?
One of the bed's victim was a tuberculosis patient that he ate but then didn't eat, and then kind of sentenced him to this weird purgatory ghoulish lifestyle, trapped behind a painting in the room with the bed.
Yes.
but nobody can hear him or see him or anything.
Well, wasn't it his painting of the bed?
It was.
Yes.
He was an artist.
Got it.
As you could
Yes.
tell by the black eyeshadow and the rings.
Understood, yes.
He was a 1970s goth.
He was troubled.
But yeah, that guy that was like, he was basically the one that was narrating the entire movie
Yeah,
and
it was
telling us everything.
His inner monologue.
Yes. But every time Sharon
Sharon,
came around, he was like, oh, you're bleeding. Like, why can't you stand to be near her?
I missed this entire thing.
Really?
Yeah.
He said it so many times.
I don't know.
I don't know. The weird part about this
And when
movie
it would
is-
show the like yellow bed acid, and then it would be like bloody when she was around.
Oh,
Do you remember?
I guess
that?
you're right. Yeah.
And he
Okay.
kept saying like weird things about it, and I was like, "What is the point? Like, is she a descendant of like the lady?"
I think they had explained it in that her eyes looked like the women that the demon loved's eyes. I think that's how
This
that came
movie is
across.
so fucking weird.
This is taking three
far
people
off.
to break this down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, we tried so hard to stay on Earth, and we're
Oh,
way
God.
off now.
Oh yeah, we're in space right now.
Yeah.
Get ready for the moon landing.
We're moving at the pace that this movie did. So let's rein it in here, and let's do something normal, and let's do successes.
Successes. I thought it had some pretty cool effects.
Totally.
Effects are great.
Some of them were really silly, like when the bed sheet reached out like across the room and grabbed her ankle and like pulled her back. That was so silly. I guess it looked good still though.
Classic move.
Yeah, when that guy's hands were like melting into the bed,
That was
foamy acid,
disgusting.
whatever it was. Yeah, it was just like slowly deteriorating and like fizzling away.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Meat hands.
I feel like that would be a really easy effect to do, but it still looks cool.
Yeah, it looked cool because particularly like after his hands were in there for a while, like one of his like ring finger skin flaps like totally floated up
I
and
saw
off,
that.
and that was like particularly ew.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was
gross.
cool.
And so, quick question: what was underneath the bed? Like, what was that yellowy urine-like world we'd go into every time the bed was being effective? And was it infinite, or was it just as big as the bed?
There was pretty ample space underneath the bed because they were crawling underneath it.
Well,
And like the knife fell through when they tried to stab it.
Yeah.
And the bed itself isn't particularly thick. So I think we found our first problem with this movie among a number of problems.
So is it some weird like other dimension?
Yeah, like
guess
when
it-
you
yeah, I don't
enter the
know.
bed, is it like some sort of because it foams up. It never gets really wet. It's just like every time someone gets sucked into it, it's like they just cracked a can of soda.
Some metaphysical. I like alternatingly thought it was like acid
Yeah.
and like boiling oil. Because it had like that yellow tinge. It just looked like vegetable oil.
Yeah. It really did.
It was superheated pineapple soda from the dollar store.
Yeah. I don't know. That was I just was curious as to what that actually was.
Just from like a dimensional standpoint. Like,
Yeah.
there are like entire people in the thing, but it doesn't look like it could fit that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like where is that? That's all.
I mean, I guess that's one of many things that makes this movie like so fucking weird. Like, it's just so something seems off about it.
I'm purely baffled. To be
yeah.
completely honest with you, what the fuck did we just watch?
Yeah, well let's keep going on some things that it did correctly, like some cool stuff.
I don't know. I don't know if it was intentional. Like this movie was made in 1977, so I'm assuming everyone was just dropping acid all the time. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I feel like some of it was really funny and like
Yeah.
almost like an intentional way. Like there's no way somebody could have done that and not known how hilarious it was going to be.
We talk about skeleton hands.
Well, yeah, that amongst like a couple of things. But I just want to know if it was intentional. But I feel like that totally played into a strength for it.
Yeah, I can agree with
It
that.
made me laugh pretty hard a few times.
If they didn't mean to, I don't care because it was still great.
And
It made
I
the
said,
movie
what
far
the fuck,
better.
at least like 100 times.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that that wink wink nudge nudge kind of horror. Not really.
Right.
And,
No.
but it still was funny.
I feel like it took itself pretty seriously.
Yeah.
Which, if they were trying to make it funny, then all the better.
Yeah.
Like, they understood how to make that work.
Yeah.
It came off like in those parts, it kind of felt like really dry British comedy from around that era. So maybe that's why it worked.
Yeah, could have. I mean, there were some genuine points in this movie where I was actually scared. Like,
No.
I felt like I was like,
Stop.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm scared right now.
Stop it.
I wouldn't say I was legit scared, but I wasn't scared by the movie itself.
Like
but I was uncomfortable with the fact that someone made it.
Yeah,
Like, that made me feel uncomfortable that guy existed.
Where do you come from?
He wrote a script. He got a bunch of people to agree to make it. That's weird. That's really weird.
Yeah, I find it strange that anyone could read that screenplay or script and then be like, yes, this needs to happen.
yeah.
Because, like, you think if someone, like, writes a weird piece of shit or, like, draws, like, a fucking weird-ass thing, that's just one person involved. This had a number of people, even if it was only, like, what? The crew was probably, what, like 2,000 people, maybe? For how much they managed to accomplish, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, they had one guy who was the gaffer and special effects. I was like, damn, that guy worked his ass off.
His name was like Jock something.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember now.
Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah, that was him. But yeah, no, I mean, I thought I was kind of scared of it a little bit. Like, maybe not in, like, real life, but scared, like, maybe from the perspective of watching a movie like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I posed the question to you guys. If you had seen this as a child, would you think it was as stupid as you do now, or would you be
no.
terrified of it?
I would be
Absolutely
traumatized.
Terrified.
Like, because it's like one of those weird things where you're like, I can't explain what's going on the screen right now.
Yeah.
And like 20 years later, you would be like, what was that movie I saw?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
you don't
God.
fully comprehend
And,
what
like-
it was about. You just remember like vivid
Yeah.
imagery.
And it would like make you nauseous. It would make you feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I swear to God, it was like about a bed that ate people.
Yeah, it would be like the
Friends
kind
were
of
like,
thing.
you idiot. No.
Yeah, you would like for 20 years you'd be like, I had this like weird fever dream when I was 7 about like this bed that was like eating people and like it was drinking champagne and shit, and this guy had skeleton hands. And like then I went on IMDb
And
I
a lady
just
was
happened,
eating bugs.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh,
So
the bug
creepy,
scene.
weird.
Oh, Susan. I forgot about Susan. Oh.
This movie fried our fucking brain.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think I have any more positive.
I have another positive.
Do
Please
it.
share.
I thought what they did for sound design, all the sound effects in this movie were awesome.
Or orgasms.
Well, that was how everyone reacted to this bed.
So like with the sound effects, was it just that like while the sound effects were really crisp, but they were usually like the wrong sound effect, but it was really unsettling in that way?
Yeah.
Like when the eyeballs were rolling around in the bed, it was making like that marble rolling noise. That was fucking creepy and weird.
Definitely. Every single gate closing was a fart noise.
Yep. When Susan was eating the bugs, it was like making these like crunch noises, like she was eating a bunch of crackers.
Yeah.
I know there's another like really weird sound effect thing. Fucking, there was like an orgy happening on top of the bed, and like there's just like sitcom laughter. Like
It was like a laugh track of like 45 people.
yeah, Deathbed was filmed in front of a live audience. That was fucking creepy and weird. This random dude that looked like James Adomian in a red smoking jacket
Oh my
just shows
God.
up, and like carnal movie music is playing. And like he just shows up to fuck this random woman on the bed. That was uncomfortable. I didn't like that.
That's right.
The sound design of this movie is fucking creepy.
It was very effective.
Yeah.
Any more successes? Unless, Eric, you have anything?
I think pretty much everything I thought was solid about this movie has been covered.
Yeah.
I think the fact that it was genuinely disturbing
Is a
is a
plus.
pretty huge plus in favor of this movie, and I think it's the biggest thing it's got going for it.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
For something so silly, it's unnerving.
True.
So let's move on to failures. What did it do incorrectly?
I did not like that almost most of the dialogue is conveyed through internal monologue.
I wholeheartedly agree.
It made the movie feel very empty. Most of the time, the characters don't even fucking talk to each other. Like, they just stare at each other and make weird noises. I don't know. It felt like the entire movie was being narrated to us. Like they
I feel like I didn't even realize that, but now that you say it, I totally agree.
Oh man, I wrote down. I'm like, everyone has an inner monologue.
Yeah,
like that's how we learn things.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the artist behind the painting having an internal monologue because it makes sense for him to be playing that role.
Yeah, that made sense.
Yeah, all he has is himself. Like, nobody can hear him, so what's the point?
Yeah.
But then like every other incidental character has an internal monologue, and it was very strange.
It was so strange.
I
Which-
also thought that was
I mean, I
strange.
guess is another thing that makes this movie a little unsettling, but I still didn't like
Is
it.
that no one actually talks, really.
Yeah.
That is maybe.
Like, most of the dialogue is very just, like, incidental dialogue. Like, where did Susan go?
I'll find her.
I got fried chicken.
Yeah. Dialogue was terrible. The plot was, like, incoherent.
Well, here
Characters were indiscernible from one another.
Yeah, the character's pretty generic.
Yeah, they were flat characters, but like the plot so when the movie started and it started to go, you threw a lot to the wind. You're just like, okay, whatever, you know. I'm gonna just go ahead and listen, and for a little while you can follow what's going on, and then this movie slowly it just breaks down into just like, all right, let's just shoot a bunch of stuff with people with the bed.
Yes, exactly. It devolves into this, like, babble scenes about random things, and you're left to kind of piece it together and be like, okay, well, I guess this person is this person? Question mark?
Are we talking about like where the guy is looking at his rings and like discussing the history of the Bed's murders?
Yes.
That was weirdly jammed in.
It was wicked jammed in.
Yeah, it was really strange. The movie like decayed very slowly. Because at first I was like, I follow. Okay, I can make that leap. This, is in fact a movie about a bed that eats. So sure.
We're already suspending a shitload of disbelief at this point.
Yeah, but even knowing that was the name of this movie, I even was just like, this is absurd.
Yeah, I went in with a movie in my head, and I did not get that movie.
Like,
but I got kind of close to the movie in my head.
I did,
though.
but I was not expecting this weird fever dream.
Like when he would eat somebody, and then all of a sudden outside, like, a flower bush would grow.
Oh, yeah.
And it would be, like, over their skull.
Yeah, I don't know what that
So
meant.
is he just, like, part of nature?
And then it ate its own
that
flower.
Was so weird.
I have a proposal.
And
this entire script
propose?
was supposed to be an animated music video for a Pink Floyd song. And Pink Floyd said, no, you've done too much drugs for us. And then they made this movie instead.
All right.
It was so strange.
If you put on the wall while you watch this movie, you will throw up.
I wonder what that would be like.
I felt like multiple times in this movie it was supposed to be nighttime, and it was definitely daytime.
Yeah.
But they didn't even, like, day for night it. It was just legit daytime.
They just didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't bother. It was very half-assed.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, they just did whatever they could do for production, which is probably why they didn't have any dialogue. And then they're like, damn, this shit makes no sense.
Yeah.
Let's add some inner monologue.
There was even a couple of spots where there was ADR dialogue. Like, it definitely was an internal monologue because they didn't put, like, the echo sound effect on
like
it.
reverb, so we knew it was inner monologue.
Yeah, and, like, they just straight up threw ADR on top of people's mouths that weren't moving, which was happened in a couple of spots. And I was like, damn it. I don't like that. It's not that funny.
Yeah, but for this movie being as weird and awkward as it is, I mean, knowing what it is, I don't think it truly failed on a lot of levels.
Not really,
Like,
no.
it didn't in a weird way, because, I mean...
As terrible the execution was, it was, like, weirdly, like, nauseatingly compelling.
Yeah.
Because it was so fucking outlandish and just strange. You wanted to know what was going to happen because everything that had happened up to that point was already so really very bizarre.
Yeah, this kind of felt like we witnessed some sort of weird outsider art that just happened to make its way onto YouTube.
All right, so let's move on to favorite parts then. Unless we want to talk about risks.
This whole movie is a fucking risk.
Yeah.
This is a weird fucking movie.
Like, I have so many questions and just parts that I need to talk about.
All right, well, let's get that on the
can't-
table then.
that
Let's have a
can't
general discussion.
Fit into any like, specific category.
All right, let's talk about it.
I wanted to know why why the bed was so weirdly specific about what it was eating. Like, it would eat a person, like, down to the bone, but then it would eat an apple but leave the core.
Core's not edible. Keep going.
But I feel like it ate, like, things that you aren't supposed to eat, but then it was like, fuck this apple core.
Yeah.
And,
Wait,
fuck this chicken wing bone.
What did it eat that it wasn't supposed to eat? I think it did. I think it had a pretty good track record, if I remember right.
I don't remember now. Why did no one ever scream when the bed was eating them?
Oh my god.
Because they were all climaxing.
No, that's not an acceptable answer.
No one shows any sign of terror in this movie, and it's really fucking
Well,
creepy.
when oh god, I can't remember her name, but she was the only one that acted even remotely like in pain, except for the first two people who got eaten.
Yeah.
Because they were screaming, but everyone else was just like, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ooh. But she, like, really looked like what was happening to her was not enjoyable, yet she was still making orgasm sounds.
Yeah, and then she had like the longest scene.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was...
The bed sucked her in, like, up to the waist. She, like, managed to pull herself free, but then spent the next 7 minutes
Oh, that was...
dragging her limp legs across the floor.
That was uncomfortable.
We were like, when will it be over?
Yes, and then that's when we saw the sheet from the bed reverse and grab her.
Also, was the bed masturbating?
It was absolutely masturbating.
100%.
I wrote master bubbling.
Very nice. Yeah, it totally was.
It was in the master bedroom masturbating.
Yeah, that was really weird and uncomfortable. It was just like a lot of groaning, and then like the bed's like
Fluids.
acid. Yeah, fluids were like bubbling over this weird moaning sound. I don't know. That was fucking weird.
I think this movie made me feel weird.
It did.
Like,
Yeah.
real weird.
Yeah, I feel like I don't even know what I think of anything.
Oh, yeah. So we were wondering, yes, this bed is telekinetic, correct?
I believe so.
Yes.
It can, like, imprint nightmares into your psyche. It can, like, control shit around the house. So it's capable of doing, like, supernatural telekinetic stuff.
It gets into your head when you sleep on it.
She was making that girl have, like, the bug nightmare.
Yeah.
That was gross.
That was weird.
Okay, we can move on to favorite parts.
Who wants to start?
I think we can all agree
I think I know what you're going to say.
that skeleton hands
Oh, yeah.
is the best thing that ever happened to any of us.
Ever?
Ever.
Dude,
Of
it
all
was
time.
everything. It was action, it was terrifying, and it was hilarious.
Okay, so one of the three women who goes up, her brother comes to rescue her, and I honestly don't even remember why he had his hands in the bed.
He stabbed it. He
yes.
attacked it.
Okay, yes. So he
You know.
stabs the bed because logic, and his hands like plunge into it and they're getting burned off, and that's the part we were talking about with the sweet special effects. He pulls his hands out and there's no muscle, no tissue, no skin. It's just bones, like skeleton hands that you would see on a plastic skeleton
Yes.
from like
Science class?
the Halloween store.
You can even see, like, the little, like, pivot, like, spots on the fingers. Like,
Oh my god. So he is not even in shock. He's just like, "Oh man, this sucks." And like and then like slides down the wall and is like staring at his like little skeleton hands. And then like slowly his like end fingertip bones start falling off. And he's like, "Oh man, the cartilage is melted," or something to that
the
effect.
delivery is exactly like that.
Yeah, like flat and emotionless and so terrible.
Well,
Which made it extra fucking creepy.
This character is played by William Russ, who played Alan Matthews on Boy Meets World. Corey Matthews' dad. He also played Edward Norton's dad in American History X. So he's a really decent actor. He's a pretty good actor. But this line was delivered like so wooden and terribly.
I wonder if he was directed that way. They were like, if you do it this way, it's going to be fucking surreal and creepy. Like, because it was like
Maybe he's
unsettling for
supposed
me.
to be in shock, but it's just not coming
Maybe.
across at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, as he's like, "Oh, my cartilage is melted," more of his finger bones just keep falling off, and he like looks at his sister and he's like, "I don't think I can deal with it. Like, you're gonna have to pull them off." Basically,
I don't think I can deal with these bone hands.
yeah, he can't deal. Skeleton hands is too much for him, so he looks away while his sister like snaps his hands off, and then he's just like, sigh. Like, that was the emotional range of that entire scene.
And then the skeleton
It was
hands.
so fucking weird. And then they throw them into the fire and burn them. Oh, I've never laughed so hard in my life.
Meanwhile, she does not make a single noise or expression.
Nope.
No.
It was so fucking weird.
It was like crunch, crack. Guess I have no hands now.
Yeah. Guess my brother's got no hands now.
Oh, God. So weird.
And then she later used the bones to cast a spell to kill the bed.
Spoiler alert.
Whoa, you what? They kill the bed? What else we got for favorite parts?
The woman that we can't remember the name of has one of the most practical thoughts I've ever seen in a horror movie.
Okay.
Which is, this place sure is clean for being abandoned. I sure hope there isn't a maniac around. I mean,
Maniac bed.
Well, I was going to say, the one time there isn't a maniac around, it's actually a killer bed.
There's a murder bed around, yeah. That's... I mean, them's the breaks, man.
Almost.
You're almost not a stereotypical idiot.
Why would you suspect the bed? Why?
You wouldn't.
Oh, man. Do you have a favorite part?
I do have one.
Why don't you share?
I will. I'd say the first interaction the bed has with people that we see, that first couple that go there on like a date. The guy rolls up. He's the worst guy ever.
He's like a 35-year-old man in a Letterman jacket. That's his first problem.
With like a 20-year-old lady.
Yeah, he's terrible, and he apparently goes and brings her on like the worst date ever, and has like 2 apples, some wine, and like a pretty much empty bucket of fried chicken.
He's like, sit down, let me feel your tit.
Yeah, and grappling and ugh. And
Worst tit squeezes of all time, by the way.
Well, and then the bed eats all of the food they brought on the date because they did it on the bed, and so it takes a bite of the apple. It makes like apple crunching noises, and then the bed just like spits the core out. And I was like, okay, that's funny. All right, that's great. And then it took like a bite of chicken, and I was like, all right, gets rid of the bone, starts like chugging the wine,
Like pops the cork
pops
out.
the cork, and it's very obviously chugging.
And just like a little like sip at
Yeah.
times. It was like so brilliantly stupid.
It was so silly.
But then my favorite part of that scene is when they reach back to get the food. The guy's like, oh, I must have made a mistake because, you know, you're always getting food out of your garbage instead of out of the refrigerator. But it wouldn't put it past this guy to have done that
Sorry,
at
I
some
grabbed
point.
all this trash instead.
Oh, whoops.
To go pick up my Letterman jacket
But
from
yeah,
Salvation Army.
that was a part I could follow, oddly enough, right? Like, I followed that.
You managed to make it through the cold opening.
Yeah, which was a great cold open. It was the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We didn't see the title of this movie until 10 minutes in.
I really loved and hated
All right.
the part where the girl was sleeping on the bed and it grabbed her necklace and was like sawing her neck. I loved it because it was so stupid, but I hated it because I can relate to the feeling of having your necklace like squeeze your neck, and it's so terrible.
That was the part in which I wrote down that I think I'm actually scared.
Really?
Because of the noise of the chain.
It was like a legitimate sawing
It was like
sound.
saw wood, and it was just like driving me crazy because it was like a really harsh close-up of this chain like rubbing on skin, and then like a shot of...
It was like the most delicate, dainty little chain, though, and it was like just rubbing it back and forth. Like that would not have done anything.
Yeah, I know, but the sound effects made it gross.
And like she's not reacting at all, and she's just like getting killed while she's having this fucking weird bug nightmare.
Yeah.
That whole thing was fucking strange.
Just
Yeah, that was a
slowly
really
sawing
weird...
your throat open, but that didn't even like give us any satisfaction of gore.
Yeah, not really.
It could've
No,
been,
it's
like-
just it just sucked her into the bed.
Yeah, lame.
What an asshole bed. I have another favorite part I would like
Well,
to
throw it out.
spinning newspapers.
Oh
Yes!
yes, I have that also.
There's
the
a-
Daily Bugle.
There's a part where they're showing like a brief history of the bed early on in the movie. I guess like, you know, at some point probably during like the 1920s or something, where the bed is having this rampage, and there's 4 separate spinning newspapers.
Bed
Bed rampage, yes. There's 4 separate spinning newspapers, and I feel like this is kind of what made me feel like this maybe had some intentional comedy just because the timing was beautiful.
Yes.
The first newspaper headline, thousands disappearing. The second headline, strange munching sounds heard at night. Third newspaper, mayor demands action. And then we paused it at that point because we were like, okay, what's the time code for that? That's hysterical.
Yeah.
And then we finally resumed it. It's like, the last one says, mayor disappears.
That was comedic brilliance.
Amazing.
I'm sorry.
That's what makes me think that maybe there was some British dry wit in this.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
that was really, really funny.
that's like straight out of Monty Python.
Mayor disappears.
What a great way to end that story.
Oh, so
I
good.
thought strange munching sounds heard at night was going to be like as good as that was going to get. That was gifted.
I had another favorite part,
Yo.
and it still has to do with
You
the bed.
liar! You said you only had one.
No, I have another. I noticed it. It still has to do with the bed, though. I'm pretty sure when the bed ate its own flour that it was a part of, that it then chugged a bottle of Pepto Bismol.
Yes, it did.
I had that written down too.
So that was like a shock in a movie about a bed that eats. I was shocked by the Pepto Bismol.
Where did it come from?
It was drinking. Yeah, there was not even a medicine cabinet there, but it was very, very clearly Pepto Bismol.
It was 1,000% Pepto Bismol.
It said Pepto Bismol treats diarrhea right on it.
Yep, and it was like chugging it in the same manner as the wine.
Yeah.
So the girl picked the flour and left it on the bed, and then the bed ate the flour. Why did it eat the flour? Like, I'm sure it would have known it would have gotten sick, and I'm sure it knew what it was.
I mean, flowers are edible. Maybe it just didn't know it was its own flower.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know how smart this bed is.
Well, it did eat that other girl's flowers.
Sure.
That's
I don't think
true.
I had any problem with that. Don't eat your own shit. That's
Like,
that's a
really
lesson we've
trying
learned.
to make sense of.
Do not eat
Gotta
your own
crack
poop.
this case.
Wait,
guys.
so his own flour gave the bed an upset tummy?
Yeah. So is it like eating your own shit? Like you
That's
mentioned?
what I was assuming. Like, is this the same thing as if you were to eat your own shit?
Well, if you ate your own shit, I would hope you wouldn't just drink some Pepto Bismol.
Oh, that's what I do.
I mean, yeah, that would freshen your breath, but probably not much else.
Yeah.
Maybe talk to poison control.
All
Just
you need
run
to
it by them real
freshen your
quick.
breath is York peppermint patties.
Oh, hold on, I gotta brush my teeth.
All right. Any more favorite parts before?
Oh god.
I need to reemphasize how fucking funny the sitcom laughter over the orgy was. That was hysterical. It was so weird.
Oh, you cut me off before I could yell skeleton hands.
Oh, I apologize. Do you want to yell it now?
No.
She just did. Hold on. I have another thing. All right. So I wrote down that I was like, okay. So I guess it said breakfast for one, lunch for another section of this movie. Title cards.
I didn't see dinner.
I saw dinner.
Dinner was in there.
I saw dinner.
Missed dinner.
And then it said the just desserts. But I had written down, because as soon as I saw lunch, I was like, 3 acts, 3 meals. I get it. I know what's going on here. And then we got to almost the end, and it was the just desserts.
It's the epilogue.
I was like, holy shit.
Holy shit, I love
Holy shit, these guys were on acid.
I know. I was like, oh my God, they totally fooled me. I even wrote down, I was like, whoa, desserts.
Holy shit, I love desserts.
What? And then, yeah,
That's great.
that was it. All right, rating. So let's rate it then.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
fuck
I'm gonna
you.
have to give it an unfortunate fuck off.
Oh my god, my fucking father.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck yeah! You know, I'm gonna go on a limb here because when we were watching it, I was like, I don't know if I love this or I hate it. Mm-hmm. I want to give this a fuck yeah. Which I don't know. This movie was fucking ludicrous, but it was also creepy and like really unsettling in a way that I can't put words on. And it had good special effects.
It did.
The pacing was pretty good for a 1970s movie. It was slow at
yeah,
some points,
I got
but
you.
it kept things rolling at a pretty decent pace, making me want like, what's going on here? I think the novelty of the movie had me wondering, like, okay, well, what the hell are they going to do next? Because this movie is off the rails.
Yeah.
Off the chain.
Yeah, I find this very effective as a horror movie, even though I shouldn't because it's silly and stupid, but it just made me really uncomfortable, and I think that's the most that a movie like this can really ask. Like, it's like I feel like I'm not going to sleep right tonight.
Yeah, that especially in our beds, right? All right. I mean, so you're throwing a potential fuck yeah on the table and seeing if we agree.
I think I'm going to commit to the fuck yeah. Honestly, I'm willing to go out on a limb.
Final answer.
Yeah, I
Fuck yeah, huh?
liked it.
I can.
You're going fuck yeah.
I understand.
I don't know if I would watch it again and give it the same rating, if that makes sense. But for my initial viewing, I liked it. I thought it was very interesting and unique. I've never seen this in a movie before.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Britt?
I am going to give this movie a fucking whoa. Because it is so inexplicable and stupid, and I want everyone I've ever met to watch it right now.
See, now that right there is the basis for a high rating for me. Is okay. Well, would I put my name on it as a recommendation?
Well, I have to say this. I don't know if I would watch it again. Like you said.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I would sit through it again unless I guess there was a lot of people who hadn't seen it who wanted to see it. But I would definitely tell somebody else to view this at least once.
For example, our viewers.
Yes.
Well, okay. So what if we wanted to show this to somebody else? So the three of us say, "Hey, Aaron, you should watch this movie." Would you sit down and watch this movie with someone else?
Absolutely watch this with Aaron. For sure.
Well, I mean, Aaron's an example, but
Yeah.
like, will we watch this with someone else? Will we sit down and go, "Let's watch this movie together"?
I think if they were the kind of person that would enjoy this, or at least be suitably creeped out by it, I would say, yeah, let's watch this again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so,
Does that not hold a lot of weight
so outlandish
in your ratings?
Oh no, that absolutely does, which
Yeah.
is why I'm giving it a fucking whoa in the best possible way.
Okay, I'm in.
What do you give it?
I think I'm gonna have to give it a fuck yeah.
Keeping us from a fucking sweep, but it's a positive fuck whoa.
It,
Fuck whoa.
I give it a fuck yeah because it's just I'd say, you know what? Go ahead, watch Deathbed, The Bed That Eats. Just go ahead and watch it.
It's on YouTube. It's
on
an hour and
YouTube.
17 minutes of your life.
It's super short. It's got that going for it.
Yeah, and watch it. Just don't pay attention to it,
Yeah.
and just enjoy it and get through it and just
Be baffled.
be baffled. Allow yourself to be baffled.
Yeah, it's a good time for sure. We had not much discussion because we were trying to save it for in here, but we had a lot of laughs and what the hell moments.
For sure.
Me and Tom had briefly discussed that this movie made us uncomfortable in the same way that Marble Madness does. So if
right.
that makes sense to any of our listeners out there, and I get the feeling it won't, if it does, you'll understand what is fucking weird about this movie.
Yeah. It's very
so
true.
Weird.
But yeah, okay, let's move on to First Class Failures, mixed in with a little bit of Abandoned Flick.
Oh god, everything was abandoned because it was fucking all trash.
But let's start from the top. The first thing we watched, which was your initial first pick, Britt.
Yeah.
And what was the first thing we tried?
It was 1982's Visiting Hours, starring Michael Ironside and a bunch of people I don't know.
Shatner.
Oh yeah, Shatner was in it. True. And it was about this news anchor woman who gets savagely beaten in her house by some guy who breaks in, and she goes to the hospital, and while she's recovering, the same guy goes and terrorizes her at the hospital. I couldn't tell you how it ends because we only watched 40 minutes of it.
Abandoned Flick.
It wasn't even terrible though.
It was
Just really kind of, and I can't say it was uneventful because a lot of stuff did happen and a lot of people did die and there was a lot of violence. I can't put my finger on why it was so boring.
I don't think it was the kind of thing that we would want to do for this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and I'm going to stick by what I was saying when we were watching it. It was it was the early 80s, and it was doing stuff that movies already started to veer away from, and it was doing a lot of that. And I think we looked it up, and it was a French guy who made it, so maybe there was a bit of a culture hop problem.
I'd actually kind of be curious to finish it.
I mean, it wasn't like it was a gosh awful movie.
No. It
But
was just
not something we really wanted to talk about.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a super serious suspense thriller.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel comfortable making fun of that movie.
Well,
Yeah.
let's be honest, guys. It didn't have a bed that ate people.
It's very
Also
true.
But it did have Michael Ironside in a leather tank top with a side zip on it.
Yeah, that's very,
That
very
is
true.
We got really excited for that zipper.
And we were I was like, is that a leather tank top? And he moved his arm. We were like, oh my
Whoa.
god, and a zipper. It's like Christmas.
All right, and that was just the first movie we tried to watch.
Yeah, we had a bad day.
It was Sunday. It was my birthday party the night before. It was a really long morning of movies the day after. So, what did we dive into after that?
All right.
Eric, take it away.
I will take it away
Yeah.
if you want me to.
I'm pretty sure I was like, let's put on The Nurse.
The Nurse, 1996, made-for-TV movie about some nurses. Turn that off in about 3 minutes.
The quality was so terrible, and I don't even remember what happened in those 3 minutes, but it was terrible.
The quality wasn't that bad on that one.
It was recorded on a camcorder.
It was definitely made-for-TV quality.
It's made for TV.
It looked like a TV show.
Yeah, it was.
Was that the one that had like porn stars in it?
No, that was
No.
We'll get to that one.
But see, I can't distinguish one of them from the other.
I know it was a terrible blur. But yes, Killer Killer.
About a bunch of stuttering Englishmen that stutter in a warehouse.
Don't remember it.
The first 20 seconds are of like some guy sneaking up on a woman in the shower, and she turns around, she's got a demon face, and then
Oh my God, that thing!
then she starts knifing, and then we're like, well, that's the best movie this is ever going to get. So
Still don't remember it.
Oh man, that
can't
dude.
blame you.
Not even a demon face in the shower. Don't remember it.
I do remember that now.
Next.
Turn that off about 3 minutes in.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Then we watched Meadowwoods. Jim from The Office films a black screen for 20 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
It's about these
Oh, that one.
miserable high school dorks that plan a murder, and then like at the end of the movie they drop some girl in a casket and they film her inside the casket, but they don't light the casket.
They
So
bury
it's
her
about
alive.
20 minutes of just a black screen.
Oh, God.
It was so awful.
It was
It
really
was
bad.
fucking insufferable.
Yeah.
And on top of all of that, all of these movies were on the same disc of a multi-pack that was promptly removed from the DVD player and thrown across the room.
Across the entire apartment.
Across the whole apartment. It wound up very far away. And I actually don't even know where it is, and I don't even care.
I saw it in the kitchen, and I was like, "Tuh."
So, yeah, that's floating around somewhere. And then
Next.
we kept going. We changed packs at this point.
Did we?
We did. We changed
Okay, this is
packs.
on different. Oh, that's right. We switched to the action.
We changed to
We
the action
changed
pack.
packs, but it was too late.
It was a little too
We were
late.
a little tainted. The last movie that we tried to watch was Recon 2020 from 2004, which is about a bunch of porn stars that had access to a paintball field.
So misleading.
It's not as exciting as it sounds.
Yeah, that sounds way too cool.
Imagine Starship Troopers if it was the worst movie you ever saw.
Yeah. And what was upsetting was it was kind of promising, or at least really funny for the first 15 minutes, and then it got so tedious.
Yeah, it was.
It had men on fire. We
It did.
multiple men on fire, and we were let down.
It's true. Every movie automatically gets at least a point for Man on Fire. But yeah,
Ugh.
after that, I think we gave up.
It did have the line, Sarge is a cool customer, so I'll give it credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, if we had watched that before we had gone through those other three movies, it probably would have been more tolerable.
Yeah, I still don't think I would have made it through it.
No,
because
no.
it had some serious cringeworthy shit. But we probably could have made it like through a half hour of it and then maybe switched to something else.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was our movie watching experience. This is what happens sometimes.
yeah,
Not to mention severe hangovers.
yeah.
Oh,
They weren't that bad. Mine wasn't that bad.
Mine was horrible.
I felt pretty good, man. Pretty good. But do we have any final thoughts on anything we talked about tonight?
Watch Deathbed, the bed that eats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be sorry, but it's an experience for sure.
Yep.
All right. So,
Skeleton hands.
wait, hold on. I wanna
Can we
make
just watch that again right now? Look out for the GIF, guys.
Oh yeah, I gotta
There's
make.
gonna
gifs
be
of
a
this.
gif of this.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we got everything. Whoa!
Whoa, did we miss something big?
I missed something that's a great part. I don't even know at what point in the movie that it happened, but there were two dudes playing cards on the bed.
Oh my god, how do we forget about this? I have this written down too.
Yeah, there were two dudes playing cards on the bed, and they were just sitting there on the bed, and you couldn't even tell. And so one of the guys picks up his cards from this game they're playing, and it says like, "You are dead now."
Something like that, yeah. No Joker.
No Joker. And he's like, "Hey, what the hell? What did you do?" And then the bed starts foaming and sucking them in. And one of the guys just casually pulls his gun out, points it down, and just starts shooting down at the bed.
Like no like enthusiasm to the shooting.
None.
Yeah.
Just pointing and moving his hand up and down, shooting at the bed. And one of the other guys had a cigar in his mouth, and the bed sucks them both down, and then we see a lovely shot of just the tip of the cigar sticking out from the bed as he's getting sucked into it.
It's very true.
Yeah, that's it for me. I can't believe I forgot to say that. This has been Second Class Cinema. We watched 1977's Deathbed, The Bed That Eats. It was mostly great. But weird. That's exactly right.
That's what that's the noise.
We should have done a double feature with the Deathbed and then that Deadly Fridge movie.
I know. Stuff that eats stuff. Fuck. We fucked it all up. All right. For more information, you can come to our Facebook page, facebook.com/secondclasscinema.
Look for us.
Yeah, just Google it. I guess you'll get a whole list of stuff about us. Where
just type something into Google, click the top result. Maybe it's us.
Yeah, it could be. Who
It's
knows?
not.
Especially if you
It
type
could be.
Second Class Cinema.
Yeah.
But try your luck.
Yeah, you're feeling lucky, right?
Yeah, sling that beef.
You know how to Google?
Yeah, I think we can handle that. I think our audience can handle that. Reach out to us, secondclasscinema@gmail.com. We always accept submissions for movies for us to watch. So if you have anything, don't be shy. Tell us. I write them all down, and eventually we want to watch them all.
Yeah. Our list is about 80 deep right now, so just be patient.
Good night.
And God bless.
Great. Cartilage is decaying. They'll fall off one by one.